Hi everybody, it's Nina from The Happy Hustlers. Welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, my husband Ernesto and I are e-commerce entrepreneurs selling on a bunch of different platforms such as Amazon, eBay, Poshmark, and ThredUp. If you like content related to those platforms, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing part 2 of the replenishable video for Amazon. So specifically in this video, I'm going to go through 2 ways that we find replenishables, and at the end of the video I'm going to give you a bonus tip on how to get your replenishables for even cheaper so you can increase your ROI and your profit. So the first way, and this is the way that we find most of our replenishables, I would say like 90% of our replenishables, is through tracking our items and using the data provided to us. So we track all of our items on a spreadsheet. So we track every single item that we purchased. We put it on a spreadsheet with all of the data regarding that item. If you've ever subscribed to our leads list, or if you've ever bought one of our fresh flips, our one-time leads list from us, you get a spreadsheet, and that's exactly how we track things. It has, the ASIN, the item, the purchasing link, the Amazon link, the ROI, estimated monthly sales, the sales rank, and the 90-day sales rank. There's more, but I'm forgetting, but there's additional data on there as well. So we track every single item that we purchase on a spreadsheet with this information so we can keep track of it. We can see all of those items we have purchased and the quantity that we purchased, the date we purchased it, everything. I am a huge fan of data. I'm a data nerd, but data is really helpful. I think everyone's Amazon business has replenishables. You just don't necessarily know what your replenishables could be because you're not going back and looking at them. I think a lot of Amazon sellers consistently focus on the next item, the next item, the next lead. I need to get more leads. But a lot of your items can be replenished if you have the data to go back and look at them. You really never know what could be a replenishable unless you go and look. A really easy, simple way to tell, oh, maybe this is a good replenishable is just looking at what is selling. Let's be honest, we all check the Amazon seller app at least 100 times a day, refreshing it, pulling down, seeing if your sales have gone up, going to manage orders. Over time, you're just gonna notice like, oh man, this item has really been selling quickly for me. That could be a potential replenishable sitting right there in front of your face. A lot of your replenishables are hiding in plain sight. You just have to look for them. So looking there in the seller app, just recognizing what is selling, what could be a replenishable from that. Another thing is, if you use Inventory Lab, it will tell you what your most popular products are. That's a really easy way to tell what is popular, what is selling for you, and what could be a replenishable. But I highly recommend putting all this on a spreadsheet and going back through those items and seeing if you should replenish them, looking, how many sellers are there, how much stock is there, how is the price doing. Just go back and look at every item that you've purchased from time to time. I think it's really helpful to do this on a weekly basis, to go through and look through the items you're purchasing and seeing if they can be replenishables. Don't have time to do it every week, every other week, but at least once a month, go through your purchases and see what could be a replenishable. And don't limit this to items that make sense to be a replenishable. Literally anything could be a replenishable. You never know. And the more unlikely it seems to be a replenishable, the better it might be at being a replenishable, because you're not going to have as much competition. Everyone's looking in grocery items for replenishables, but in other categories, you might not have as much competition because people don't see those items as replenishable type items. This is honestly how we find the majority of our replenishables, just by going back and looking at the items that are selling for us and repurchasing them. We don't usually seek out replenishables from the beginning. We seek out leads and then we turn them into replenishables. And that's what's worked best for us. I like to test an item to tell if it's a replenishable. You don't just tell from the beginning, because I want to actually see that item sell before I'm like, okay, this is a replenishable. I should buy 200 of this item if possible, right? Another tip regarding this, if you're tracking all of your data, is to go back in time go look at items that you bought 6 months ago, because that item might not have looked like a replenishable at that time, or it might not have even been a replenishable at that time. Let's say it became oversaturated or the price went down, but now the price could be where you want it to be and holding consistent. That item could be an item that you replenish going forward as well. So it's just so helpful to track every single item you've ever bought and keep the link of where you bought it from available, so you can go and look at those items. You don't have to be always looking for new leads. You have leads, right? You have them, keep track of them and source those items again. A couple of tips with this: if you are looking to just replenish the items that you've already purchased, use your existing leads. If the item is out of stock, like let's say you're sourcing it from Target and it's out of stock at Target, go ahead and turn on those in-stock notifications. Get the notification, get the email saying, oh, your item's back in stock, so you can purchase it when it does pop out of stock. Don't pop back into stock. Don't give up on an item just because it's out of stock, because that's actually one of the best items, because a lot of people, they're sourcing it from the same store, right? They're gonna move on to another item, but you're gonna replenish that item as soon as it comes back into stock. And if it's a major retailer like Target, it's probably gonna come back into stock. So just keep that in mind. One of our favorite replenishables, we were selling it via FBM for like 4 months or something. It had stock issues, and every time the stock went down, the competition would go down, but I would watch it. I would get the in-stock alerts and I would restock that item, and that was a huge plus for us, because the price would go up because there weren't that many sellers, and we could just consistently sell this item as long as we kept up with the in-stock alerts. And a lot of major retailers have the in-stock alerts where you just put your email address and they email you when the item is back in stock. Another big tip here is look for that item at multiple stores, because something we all face, especially with online arbitrage, I'm looking at you, Target, is quantity limits, right? You can only purchase 10 of that item, right? That makes it a little difficult to keep that item in stock if it is something you are replenishing, because you can only purchase 10 every time you purchase. So that makes it a little more difficult. But a simple tip, and this is what I do, is I just take the title of that item and I just put it into Google and I look for the results, because a lot of times that will be available at multiple stores. So you don't have to stick to the store that you originally found the lead. You can look at multiple stores as well. Two major things that you're looking for in a replenishable is on the Keep a Graph. You want to see consistency in the price, and consistency in the sales rank. So you want to see that price has held and that sales rank has held. Unless you're looking at a seasonal item, that's different, right? You're not going to see that consistency. You shouldn't with a seasonal item, but you want to see consistency in the price and consistency in the sales rank, right? So when you are sourcing as well, if you see that, you can go, this could be a replenishable. But I do like to test something before I fully dive into this being a replenishable. Like, I'm personally not comfortable doing a huge quantity of an item right from the beginning. I like to test them and make sure that they do sell, everything holds. Even if I have the Keep It data, I still want to test it before I put my money into that item. So that is the first way to find replenishables. It's not even really finding them at all. It's looking through the items you're selling and turning them into replenishables. I think this is very commonly overlooked. People are just moving on to the next lead, and not going back and looking at the stuff they've already sourced. You've already done the work. Make it easy for yourself and look through those items and replenish them. And also go back in time, look back on items that could have maybe been a replenishable in the past. If you do have a replenishable and it ends up tanking as well, like I say, the price tanks, keep those. I keep those on like a separate spreadsheet so I can go and look and say, oh, I can replenish this again. The sellers have sold out, the price is better as well. There's just a lot you can do. Replenishables really help scale your business, and you have these leads, look at them and try to turn them into replenishables when possible. The second way you can find replenishables is to search them out directly. So you want to focus on categories where replenishables are more common. So I call this like the consumables category. There's really not actually a category for this, but it's items that have to be consumed, and therefore the consumer has to repurchase them. So really easy example, grocery, food. People eat food, they have to buy more food. I buy cookies, I eat cookies, buy more cookies, consistently. That is a huge category for replenishables. Topicals, same thing. I use makeup, I use lotion, I have to buy more of it. Health and household related type items. So health, think medicine, dietary supplements. I go through my vitamins every month, I have to buy a new bottle, ibuprofen, anything like that, any type of medicine as well. And then household items as well can be super great replenishable. So those are the main categories that I consider looking outright for a replenishable. Like I said in the first part, most of my replenishables are just hiding, and I just find them from doing regular sourcing from my normal leads, and then I turn them into a replenishable. But if you're searching them out directly, those are great categories to look in. You can use tactical arbitrage, search directly at stores in those categories, do reverse searches for those categories. You'd have to hunt them out. If you're doing manual sourcing, you can go to target.com, go to the grocery section and manually search those items, but look in categories specifically where people consume those types of products. Also, you can purchase leads specifically in that category. From time to time with our fresh flips, which are one-time online arbitrage leads where you just pay once and it's an instant download, we'll do something specific to a category. Like we'll do a specific one just to groceries, and that can help you find replenishables as well. But those are the categories that I recommend if you are directly looking for replenishables. A replenishable can be anything, it really could be any category, but those are the ones where you're gonna find the most replenishables and replenishables with good volume. So those are the two main ways that we find replenishables. It's not even really finding them directly most of the time. They just are hiding there and we turn them into replenishable. But I also wanted to give you guys a bonus tip on how to decrease the cost of your replenishables, because that helps a lot. The more money you can make on each item, the better, right? So I have two little bonus tips here. One I kind of mentioned is look for that item at multiple stores, right? If you're sourcing something at Target for $14.99, just throw it into Google before you replenish it, because who knows, if it's a makeup item, it might be at Ulta for $11.99. Walmart might have it for $12.99, but that's a huge reduce in cost, right? That's a huge percentage reduction in your cost, and therefore you can put that into your profit. It also allows you to be more competitive with your pricing. So always look and see if other stores are carrying that product as well, and keep your eye on if that item does go on sale. That's huge too. If that store is having a sale, that's when you can really stock up on that item. So for example, Sephora has a sale where it's for Rogue members, so you have to have Rogue access, but it's 20% off all of Sephora. If I had a Sephora replenishable, that would be a great time to stock up as much as I could of that replenishable. Same thing if you have any coupons, discounts, anything at that store, or they're running any type of sale, that's a great time to stock up on your replenishable. But look for sales and look for other stores that have that item. The second bonus tip of how to reduce the cost of your replenishables is look to source that item wholesale. So I know wholesale might be intimidating to a lot of people, but you just need to have a business established. I can do another video on what you need to open wholesale accounts. You need to have a business established, and you need to have a resale certificate with your state, which says I don't pay sales taxes because I resell these items. Those two things seem intimidating, but they're really not, I promise. Especially a lot of states, they're actually a super easy process to get your resale certificate, but I'll save that for another video. But the second way that you can decrease your cost is to find that item wholesale. And again, people think this is difficult, but it can be as simple as Googling the brand and distributor. So Disney distributor, something that simple, and see if they carry that item, because they might. I actually have a really good example of this. We were selling a toy, and we still sell this toy. We just purchased 600 units of this toy the other day, I think, yeah. And we're sending 200 of these off tomorrow to Amazon, because that's all we're allowed to send off right now. But this toy, the first time we bought it, it was online arbitrage, and we were paying $11 for it. We Googled it and we found a distributor, and now we pay $6 for it. That is a huge reduction in the cost of that item. And this item sells. It sells a lot for us. And now we make much higher profit margin on that item than we did in the past. So look up if you can find that item through a distributor, or contact the brand directly. We've done that as well, just to see if you can get the cost down on that item, because that definitely helps increase your profit margins. So those are the ways that we find replenishables. I hope this was helpful for you guys. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give this a thumbs up, smash that like button, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.